YouTube, welcome back to Escape Roots Yoga. I'm Jody Scarrow, and today we are doing a nice slow flow for if you are craving some alone time or really just need to find yourself like a few moments to actually relax. So props for today will be a bolster and a tea if you want one. I'm drinking a Bengal spice tea with a little bit of honey if you want to match my vibe. So let's get started down in a supported fish pose, but on the bolster. So this pose is typically done with blocks in a capital T shape. So we're gonna actually take it with the bolster. So just line the bolster up behind your hips. And if you don't have a bolster, just to note, you can use a pillow or you can roll up some blankets, or you can do this without a bolster as well. So as I said, bolster just behind the hips, and then begin to work your way down onto your back. You can have your legs straight, or you can bring the soles of the feet together and knees apart in kind of a Supta Baddha Konasana variation here. So just press into the back of the head, tuck the shoulders together behind the back. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And a big, drawn out sigh through the mouth. Just allow yourself to come into that yoga space, that kind of mental space that yoga brings us into. And just set an intention for yourself today to just move through the class, through the video, slowly listening to your body and trying as hard as you can to keep yourself mentally and physically on the mat. So trying to keep that wandering mind from planning your day or checking up on how other people are doing or kind of making a mental to-do list. Just release that for the few moments you've allowed yourself to be on the mat. We're going to take 5 more breaths here. So if you're having trouble being still, you can count these breaths for yourself. And instead of being kind of annoyed with the stillness or annoyed with the fact that you are having trouble being still, try to approach that with a sense of curiosity. Maybe asking why you're having difficulty slowing down or winding down. When you're ready, decide to begin your practice by wiggling the fingers and toes. You can gently rock the head from side to side. And then just use the hands kind of on the floor beside you and just walk yourself up into a Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees apart. And you can have the feet close to the hips initially. We'll do another version of this shortly, but for now, keep the feet close to the hips and we'll interlace the fingers around the toes, kind of making a little house for your toes. And then from here, we're gonna exhale, sink the chest back, find lots of space between the shoulder blades, and see if you can almost push your spine towards the back of your mat, almost like you're folding your shoulders and folding your collarbones in towards each other. Inhale as you pull forwards. You can use those elbows to help press the knees out to the side as you pull your sternum forwards and lengthen out through the crown of the head. Exhale, sink the chest back. Find that roll in the hips. And then inhale, bring it forwards. Elbows press the knees out. Crown of the head pulls forward, so we're not crunching the back of the neck. We're keeping it nice and long, and sternum pulls forwards as well. Exhale, take it back. And inhale, pull forwards. Exhale, back. Inhale, forwards. Awesome. From here, just take that bolster from behind you and move it out to the side, just out of your way. And then sink the hips back. So now we want kind of a bigger diamond shape between the feet and the hips. You can reach the hands forwards and kind of wrap them around the feet and just drop the crown of the head down into the feet or somewhere near. Maybe you're holding up your chin with your hands, or maybe you're kind of sitting up on your hands to find a more elevated, more supported position. But either way, we're kind of trying to lean forwards here. Only a few more breaths here. When you're ready, begin to walk the hands back in. We're going to pick up the left foot and cross it under. So nice and close. Pick up the right foot and cross it over. So right knee is going to be pointing up towards the ceiling. And you're going to take that left arm and just hug it around the right leg as we sit up nice and tall and twist towards the right. Try to root down with both your hip bones and sit up nice and tall through the crown of the head. We're going to take some deep breaths into the belly here. So don't be afraid to actually let your belly expand as you breathe. It is okay to let the belly be round and full. That is a function. That is just your body doing what it's doing. It does not matter what it looks like. And as you start to feel finished in this pose, just let yourself unwind. And we're going to take the right arm just kind of in front of the right knee and take a little counter twist. Maybe looking over your left shoulder, letting it feel good. And then unwind. Take that right leg, extend it long in front of you. And left leg comes up high on the inner thigh. Now we're doing Janu Sirsasana. If you practice Bikram, we're going to be doing it a little bit differently than that style. So we'll still reach up nice and tall. Inhale here. And then exhale, lean your way forwards over the leg, except today we're not worried about getting the forehead to the knee. We're actually just going to relax the forehead down and let it fall anywhere on the leg. So more of a relaxed kind of pose for us today. We're going to take about 5 breaths here. So do your best to find areas to relax. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly and smoothly begin to walk your hands up and then back towards your left. We're going to shift the weight forwards onto that left knee and lift the right bicep up by the right ear as we come into gate pose, a nice big stretch here. So trying to lengthen out through the hip flexors. Don't worry about what this one looks like. Just go till you feel a nice stretch and then sink your hips back down. Nice work. Take your bolster friend once again, place it on the legs, and just sit up tall for a moment. Check in with your energy. Make sure you're still here on the mat, still enjoying this time alone with yourself, being present, and then work yourself forwards into caterpillar pose. So you're just trying to get the forehead down onto the bolster and just kind of enjoying this lazy forward fold. Tucking the chin towards the chest could really intensify this pose, so decide whether that's what you want today or not. When you're ready, walk those hands back in. We'll move the bolster to the side for now. Let's take a brief little intermission here. So maybe you want to reach forwards, grab a tea. We'll just do a little wee bit of a grounding exercise. So if you're holding a tea here, or if you're not, you can just bring your palms together. We're going to take a nice big inhale through the nose. Notice what you smell. Maybe notice the humidity or temperature of the air you're breathing. If you're breathing in your tea, this might be a nice scent. And then as you exhale, let yourself feel nice and heavy on the mat. We'll open our eyes here and find two things in the room that are pleasant, that you like. No need to overthink it. Mine are the warm cup on my hands and my stack of books that's just behind the camera. You can take a little sip of your tea if you like. Give yourself a moment to kind of settle. Come back to that kind of sense of solitude. And then we'll bend the right knee, cross the left leg over, and come into the other side. So go ahead and cross those legs. Left leg is on top. Give the left thigh a little hug and twist towards the back left shoulder. I'm a little tighter on this side than the other. So something I do to really make sure I'm getting into the glute is I take my left thumb and I press it down in my left hip crease, and that just kind of helps give me a lever so I know that I'm really getting into my left side body, left glute. So if you want to try that out, go ahead. If you don't like it, then leave it. When you're ready, begin to unwind, and we'll just take that same little counter stretch as we push the chest open towards the right. Maybe the chin goes back towards the right shoulder. And from here, unwind, take the left leg forwards, right foot comes up to the inner thigh, and we'll take that Savasana on the other side. So reach the arms up nice and high, inhale, and then exhale. Go ahead, come on down into your kind of passive version of Savasana. So just letting the forehead fall down as far as you want on the leg. As always, you can take a little bend in that left knee. It might help you kind of get into the pose a little bit deeper while still protecting the hamstring, the backs of the legs. And just notice if there's anywhere in your body that you could further relax. So can you use your breath, the exhale specifically, to kind of allow the parasympathetic nervous system to take over, that rest and digest to take over. When you're ready, crawl your hands in and back to the right. Shift the weight forwards, sort of onto that right knee, and then left arm reaches up towards the sky or kind of far towards the back of the mat, whatever feels good. So same as the other side. Don't worry about what this looks like. Just kind of flow and let it feel good. And then sink the hips down. And we'll do a little bit different on this side. Take the legs nice and wide. You can bring the hips to the middle of the mat and find your bolster again. We're just going to work our way down, giving the bolster a little bit of a hug. So just find kind of a version of this pose, with whatever props you need, that still gives you a touch of a stretch, but isn't quite at your limit for what you're able to handle. So not taking it entirely gently, but just taking it with some self-compassion, with some self-love. When you're ready, begin to walk the hands in. You can take the bolster, and just put it kind of flat across your mat. And then walk the feet in front of the bolster. Shift your hips forwards, and we will begin to relax. You can tuck the hips underneath you, press into the back of the head, tuck the shoulders behind the back, let the palms turn up towards the sky. Let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Maybe if that felt good, you can do another one. Inhale. Exhale. Welcome to Savasana. You've made it. This is the most important part of your practice. Let yourself enjoy the space, the quiet, and maybe find just a hint of gratitude for this time that you've carved out in your day just to be alone. When you're ready, introduce some movement into the fingers and toes. Allow the breath to deepen. Interlace the hands overhead. Take a great big stretch. Inhale. Exhale, release. Can work your way up towards seated. And find yourself in a cross-legged seated position. If you have yet to finish your tea, I invite you to sit on your mat in silence and just enjoy it. If you have finished and you're ending your practice here, I'd like to thank you for sharing it with me. I hope this was healing and enjoyable for you, and hopefully I see you again on Friday. Thanks. Cheers.